Thank you for inviting me over. For those of you who may not be aware of the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor, Dr. Abdul Kalam was our first Principal Scientific Advisor. Today we have Professor Ajay Sood from Indian Institute of Science. This office is partly part of the Prime Minister's office and has been advising the PMO as well as the different line ministries, and also been working now with several industries, public sector units, other countries, embassies, and so on one side, which is the demand side, and with supply through academic institutes and institutes as well as startups. And that's the entire gamut that the Strategic Alliances Division, which I head, manages today. Obviously, with a very small team, it's very difficult for us to manage the entire nation, and not only the nation, but different countries. And hence, we thought of having a platform which is digital in nature, and almost all your organizations are part of this platform today. From the office, of course, we manage a lot of national programs, and one of the national programs is Manthan, and incidentally, today's conference also is named after PSU Summit Manthan, so you know that it's churning of ideas. However, our platform does much more than ideas. We are today at a $1 billion worth projects from all of you to different academic institutes and startups for them to apply and for them to win these projects. And hence, nothing comes on a platter today. Each one of them have to be competitive. They have to ensure that the problem statement is understood well, and their proposals are very meticulously and smartly undertaken. We also got, the Manthan platform also got the World Governments Summit 2024 award, which is basically around 26 prime ministers and their delegations come together, and they have a summit in the UAE with the World Economic Forum, United Nations, and the Prime Minister's Office of UAE coming together on this, organizing of this program. And so I had the opportunity to present this platform to about 26 prime ministers and their several delegations, including ex-prime ministers like Tony Blair, etc. The key project outcomes of 100 projects are out here. Usually, whatever we do, we ensure that we measure the outcome. It could be number of livelihoods that we touched, number of industry problem statements that were solved, number of EV programs that we had, or nanotechnology programs that we did, and so on. Or it could be technology development, number of technologies, number of startups supported, number of institutes, and so on and so forth. All of this is transparently available on the platform, and it's a free platform for all. There are 4 major pillars of this platform. The first pillar is the demand generation pillar. Why do we say that? Because we feel that all of you have so much of demand to provide, and it is really not necessary for institutes and startups to go all over the place and develop innovations and technologies which may not have a demand. And hence, first thing that we do is we source this demand, and we request the demand owners to upload these. The second pillar is largely to do with the showcase of innovations and R&D that they want to do in future. So various institutes, be it Tier 2, Tier 3, or IITs, NITs, IIITs, IISers, AIMS, NCL Pune, for instance, startups, and all of these, including school innovations, are all available on the platform. We also have subject matter experts, so I urge each one of you to also upload your profile there, because institutes can get in touch with you, not only Indian, but also foreign institutes. Industries can also come in touch with you, invite you to develop joint papers together, or say, evaluate proposals, or anything in technology development, or, and discussions and so on. The third pillar that we have is largely to do with government projects. So there are around 17 line ministry projects here already, like Ministry of Mining, Ministry of Animal Husbandry, Environment, even Postal for that matter, women and child and so on. They have AI-related problem statements and so on. So all of that is also part of the story. And then we have international partnerships. We have about 23 countries today, engaging very deeply with our startups and academic institutes on the platform. And various other organizations as well. And the last one is the exhibition, where we have various OTT programs. We have built episodes around Amazon Prime, around for non-incubated startups in terms of how a startup works, what are the issues they face, how do they attract talent, how do they attract investors and all of that. So several episodes on that. We also have international movies on social impact and so on. So these are the 4 pillars. I'll quickly go through it. They are all stacked based on the Sustainable Development Goals and the emerging technologies. We also have crowdsourced funding, just to make sure that you understand that there's not a single rupee that we get from the Government of India. All the funding that is there, right from development of the platform to the platform projects, to all the projects that come out of the platform are also funded by philanthropic organizations or by industry R&D. We have a classified section for industry R&D, and several organizations, including PSUs like BEL, BHEL, have been using the classified section. So we benchmarked with a lot of platforms before we did this so that we don't duplicate efforts. This is the opportunity creation. You can create any opportunity. You could be looking for academic institutes for early stage R&D. You could be looking for market-ready innovations from startups. You could also be providing your infrastructure. For instance, BHEL provides their factory premises to innovative startups. You could be providing in-kind support, or researchers. You might want to do fellowships and scholarships for researchers who make social impact through your CSR funding. It could also be that you want to explore certain areas and so on, and you don't want to give a commitment outright. So these are the things that you can easily do on the platform. Several proposals are also there. You can have a look at it. You can select your projects as you wish. You could also look at all the episodes, the movies, and all of that clearly on this platform. We have several opportunity providers. I'll be very surprised if there is anyone in this room, any of your organizations that are not there on the Manthan platform. We have absolutely everyone in public sector units, industries, government, other governments, and multinationals as well. So these are our opportunity providers. We call them opportunity and not problem statements because of the fact that there's a lot of giving here, and it could be business R&D problem statements or CSR projects. So almost all of it is giving in this platform. So you can see that absolutely, we have a whole range of organizations, and not once, but several times they come on the platform. We have a very small team, but we have managed to follow up and get all these people on the platform. And so that's what it is. We have built several centers of excellence. Center of excellence on water, waste management, circular economy, air pollution, on AI for health, and so on. And several of them, Dementia Studio in NIMHANS, IIT Dharwad, we set up with the help of the funding of Celco, as well as Infineon, Honeywell, etc. ICICI Securities has supported TERI, AI for health in Patna, IIT, and so on. Sorry. The centers of excellence have a lot of technologies that they build. They also scale up, pilot, and so on. They also do early stage R&D. A lot of catalytic projects as well. For instance, a safe aviation fuel is a very interesting project that we're doing with Airbus and IIP Dehradun, where Airbus is funding this. And we have also gone to up to European standards to ensure that we test the fuel, etc., so that tomorrow, if required, the waste can be sold for fuel development. Dementia Studio, as I mentioned, quite a lot of that work is also happening. quantum computing and technologies, which is the latest. TCS, IBM, and many organizations have come to the platform, requested for test cases, built a lot of centers of excellence, building courses with the Indian Institute of Science and some of the IITs, TIFR, etc. So a lot of top-notch research also gets done, and upskilling also gets done. For instance, upskilling on renewable energy, on nano, and so on. Government, as I mentioned, several of the ministries have given their problem statements. Initially, they, of course, had issues in terms of there is a GEM platform and all of that. But once we convinced them that you could have your committees and you could select through the committees, they have been doing that. Many of the public sector units, incidentally, have been funding the government R&D problems. Like we have Power Grid, supporting the Ministry of Power and so on. So the details are here. It's all there up on the platform, so I will just skip these. And there are quite a few, Ministry of Mining has just selected 23 institutes recently and so on. Then what happens is that once the platform is there, most of the innovations you and I can access, but rural India cannot access these innovations, and hence we are working on something called the RUTAC Smart Village Centers, which are physical centers, which we have been trying to set up in different parts of the country, again using philanthropic funding. In some cases, the villagers themselves have been funding it in Haryana and so on. So we have this in UP, and quite a few organizations. We got the first prize through the Social Stock Exchange for rural smart village centers, where we take down and deploy about 12 tracks of technologies on the ground. We have almost covered, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, also trying to cover Northeast region and so on. So the framework is very simple. We have the markiest steering committee. We have NDDB, World Bank, UNIS Social Business, all of these as our steering committee. We also have technical committee of some of the IITs as well as the IIMs, because of the fact that I felt that while you have technology readiness levels, we have market readiness level, what we don't have is village readiness level. Is the innovation village ready or not? And hence we have built a framework. In fact, Mr. Krishnan, I'm from IIT Madras, my PhD is from there. So one of my alum from IIT Madras and I have written a journal paper to Springer on the village readiness level and so on. We also have a governing council, those who have worked on the ground, so that they can be part of our story. And I'm very happy to share with you that NABARD has given us in principle approval for setting up the Center of Excellence in NABARD itself. So that's what it is. I think there's time up, so I'm quickly taking you through this. The 12 tracks are agriculture technologies, livelihood technologies, as well as technologies related to assistive tech, affordable housing, and all of that. So the CSR funds can be utilized for this, and there are quite a few instances. I'll leave the presentation here so you could go through it. The last one is upscaling of Tier 2 and Tier 3 institutes for the advancement of the nation. That is called UTHAN, and that's where we are working with different Tier 2 institutes to set up innovation hubs. And that's all from me. I think I'll just leave this presentation with you, and you can maybe go through it. Thank you so much, and hope to engage together. Thank you.